Hello, this is Rabbi Michael Weiner with Rabbi's Reflections for Friday, June the 20th, 2025. Shalom. Psalm 31, verse 11, part 11. For my life is consumed in sorrow and my years in sighing. My strength fails because of my anguish, and my bones waste away. Back in verse 7, King David declares positively, I trust in Adonai. However, immediately he begins a series of negative Nancy expressions, one after the other, until he finally emerges in verse 15 with a similar declaration, Psalm 31, verse 15, but, parentheses, through it all, close paren, I have trusted in you, Adonai. I said, you are my God. Almost all the trouble in between is clearly the result of enemy activity. Yet today's verse stands out as an exception. Here, without blaming anybody else, David is lamenting his sorry state of existence. From time to time, don't we all? Let's look a little closer. Is it really a lament? What is the highest redemptive value of all this negativity? There's a Hebrew word kalu, from which we have the word kala, kaf lamed he, which is translated here as consumed, but it also means completed. And we can learn much from its first use. In Genesis, the 2nd chapter, it begins with that word. So the heavens and earth were completed, along with their entire array. Amazingly, this same word, kala, is the Hebrew word for bride. Then we learned that another connotation of this word is perfected. Amazing how we can go from consumed, wasting away, all the way to perfected, now isn't it? Now let's look again at our subject verse. If David had spoken English, he might have said, my life is perfected in sorrow. This takes us to the higher command, Philippians 3:10a. My aim is to know him and the power of his resurrection and the sharing of his sufferings. We love to rejoice in the Lord and fellowship in his victories, but some of his victories are painful. Isaiah 53, verse 3, part A. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. Most people are passionate about the crucifixion of Yeshua. They want to blame someone for such cruel treatment of the beloved. Throughout history, Jews have been the scapegoat. However, Scripture tells another story in Isaiah 53, verse 10, part A, yet it pleased Adonai to bruise him. He caused him to suffer. As unpopular as it may be, our higher calling is to join him through it all. 2 Timothy 2:12a, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. That's the King James Version. Yeshua was crucified outside the walls of Jerusalem, Hebrews 13, verse 12 and following. Therefore, to make the people holy through his own blood, Yeshua also suffered outside the gate. So let us go to him outside the camp, bearing his disgrace. For here we have no lasting city, but we seek the one that is to come. It has become unacceptable to preach the full gospel in many churches these days. The only way to sit together with him on his throne is through the cross. Luke 9, verse 23. Then Yeshua was saying to everyone, if anyone wants to follow me, he must deny himself, take up his cross every day, and follow me. When David wrote, in our subject verse, Psalm 31:11, part A, for my life is consumed, or perfected, in sorrow and my years in sighing, he wasn't being negative, he was being prophetic. Think about that. Shalom, shalom.